Hi friends, Andy Vegan. Breakfast time with a fruit salad, and I choose a combination today that I really like a lot, and it is red currants and bananas. That is the theme today. Here, that's a wonderful combination. Here, these are little juice balls, sweet and sour, a little bit sour. I love them from grandma's time in the garden. And here the banana is the opposite, sweet, soft, creamy, and they are so nice together. Also, there's a slightly bitter flavor in the bananas you won't even notice usually. And this here corresponds to the sour flavor, the little bit of sour flavor of the currants. It's really amazing. So bananas and red currants, especially the red ones, it's a wonderful topic. And what I like together with this combination, currants and red currants and bananas, is a hazelnut. Just a small amount. I chop them a little bit. You touch them barely with a knife on the cutting board and they jump in two parts. Very easy. It's just nice. The a little bit harsh hazelnut flavor. It's dry, crunch, and I love hazelnuts, and I guess it's a wonderful combination. So the dressing I make will be, as often in these days, just a cashew yogurt I made myself. You can take any plain yogurt, cashew yogurt together with a date mousse. Both I make myself, date mousse here, cashew there, cashew yogurt there. And I show you in 2 other videos, for one each, how to make it. You find the links under this video. That is very simple. You blend cashews with the same amount of water and some bacteria. It's called acidophilus, the friend of the sour, the acid, because they turn the yogurt into acid, they turn the cashew nuts into yogurt. And overnight you have a yogurt. You put that in a container with a lot of air on top. A sealed container, only a quarter or so filled with yogurt, with the mass with the bacteria and the cashew yogurt and the cream. And the air on top must be really big, otherwise the lid won't hold it and it will be everywhere. I found that out barely, but well, just leave enough space in the glass. And then after a night, it goes into the fridge, and you got your yogurt. And it's the nicest texture you have in my view, when you have 1-to-1 ratio water and cashews. And the date mousse is even easier. You just blend dates with water. Oof, that's it. I soak the dates because the blender has easier, and I want to keep it longer, so that is a good idea, I think. I learned that also over time, at soaking the dates and the cashews, and you blend them, helps the blender, especially when you have a lot of dates and a lot of cashews. When you make cashew yogurt, you mostly blend dates. The dates are the cashews, and that when you have only a handful of cashews, that's no problem. You just put it in the blender. But when you have a whole 2-3 cups or so, then you would soak it because of the blender. Yeah, just a technical, it's easier. So I just whisk a little bit the cashew yogurt and the date mousse to see what the texture says. Might be a little bit thick, and in case it's a little bit thick, it's very easy. I could just add some water here, just a tiny amount. Sometimes I have the yogurt a little bit runnier for the dressing. You add a little bit more water to the yogurt when you make it, and then the yogurt is a little bit runnier. For a dressing, that may be nice. It always depends what kind of ingredients you have. Bananas like it a little bit runnier. They are a little bit thick, creamy. If the dressing is too thick and creamy, it is a little bit heavy, everything. So in that case, maybe a little bit more even. But you check it out. You find it, that's very easy. Yeah? You can always add a little bit more water, no problem. Yeah. And then I add my bananas and the red currants. These the most important ingredients here for this breakfast. It's the theme of my recipe. Red currants and bananas. And the hazelnuts. Yeah, the halved hazelnuts. Show you again. Just a small amount. And just as a little extra, I add some blueberries. We're supposed to eat blueberries every day. They are the healthiest fruit we have. They go right into the brain and make it work better. There's science about it with kids at school right away. It lasts for hours, the effect. They are really better at performing when they have blueberries directly before. It's really cool. And yeah, it's the healthiest fruit. Blackberries too, these dark blue colors, they go right to the brain. That's a ticket to the brain, our most important inner organ. Does the most work, takes the most energy, the most oxygen, for a reason, right? Yeah, so blueberries are very important. I like to add them wherever I can. I guess it fits also because the blueberries like it a little bit sour. They like, for example, a little bit lemon juice. I love that. And that's what also made me think, well, the red currants, they are a little bit sour, so let's see. The blueberries might be right there. Let's see. So I put the fruit salad with the yogurt dressing into my balloon ball. And the balloon balls are so nice because you can see everything inside, like this. And I like that, to have a little bit of transparency. And now I go to the freezer quickly, come back in a sec to get the ice cream. Frozen bananas, that's the base of the ice cream. It's called nice cream if you process it just as is. And I refine it with date mousse. I'll show you the frozen bananas. You a little bit closer to the camera, you can see here, that's what they look like. And I freeze them in slices, as you can see, because I think it's just easier to take them out. I have a big batch of frozen banana slices in the freezer always. And then I can take out some of them. When you have a whole banana, that's not so easy. And also, these little chunks here, they are much easier for the food processor. I'll come to that in a second. So the other two ingredients are date mousse, and again, another video I show you, as I said, how to make it very easy. Dates blended with water. And cashew flour. That's also easy to make. I don't show that in the video, but it's just processing cashews here. For example, in a little coffee grinder. It's a very versatile tool. You can make all kinds of flours with nuts and seeds and whatever you like in seconds. Yeah. You can also purchase these flours if you have a baking shop or so around the corner. And that makes this refinement makes the banana ice cream really amazing. And I make especially a Blitz ice cream. For that, I need a food processor with the S-blade. Blitz ice cream means I can take it right, scoop it right from the processor. My favorite plane, the tool, the toy. When you have a blender only, you can also make the same ice cream, but you might have to freeze it again for an hour or so before you can make the scoops, if you want to make scoops, right? Delicious anyway. So, food processor S-blade, bananas go in. One more thing. I would recommend to take ripe bananas, a little bit overripe maybe, and you have the best texture of the ice cream. But they are not so ripe. The ice cream can get a little bit gooey. A lot of starch in the bananas. The more they ripen, the more the starch transforms into sugar. That's what makes fruit so healthy and so energetic. Starch is also healthy, but there are more complex carbohydrates, starches, longer chains, and they are also healthy, but for another purpose, for the texture. For the texture, you want to break down the starches into sugar first, and when they ripen, then you get this nice texture of the ice cream. That's one thing. And now, date mousse, and I put all these ingredients, the bananas of course frozen, and the date mousse, put you half an hour in the freezer because you want to process as long as possible before the ice cream melts. It begins to melt pretty soon. So the colder the ingredients, not frozen, yeah, the date mousse or the cashew flour. Maybe not frozen because that would be too difficult. But the colder they are, the longer you can process and the creamier it gets. Otherwise, if you process not long enough, you might have chunks in the ice cream. It's not a big deal, right? But it's nicer and maybe creamy. So blender dance for Blitz ice cream. That's here what Blitz ice cream looks like. It's had some time to process, so I guess there are no more chunks. And now I can check. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's cold still. It's not thawed. So I can make the beautiful scoops I like so much. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a perfect texture. And especially this combination of I made a lot of ice creams. It began last year or so in the summer, and these banana ice creams are so cool. If you add, especially when you add, begin to add other ingredients such as the cashew flour, that makes a whole difference. It gets so creamy. First, I thought I have to have an ice cream machine. Yeah, ice machine makes, of course, all kinds of ice creams. But since I have this trick with the cashew flour, other nut flours or salt seed flours can make the most amazing ice creams, the most amazing textures, and in seconds, right? in minutes, let's say. Very amazing. So I still might have an ice cream maker one day, but I have so much to do yet with this kind of ice cream and this kind of desserts, desserts like breakfast, yeah, breakfast desserts, dessert breakfasts, that I have some time to go here. You see, that's the red currants here, right? Yeah, and especially this ice cream with the dates, the cashews, and the bananas. Don't know what to say. That is a wonderful comfort food. Dates, bananas, cashews. Think about that. What that is. It's what we all crave for in terms of macronutrients: the fat, the protein, and the sugar. It's all in there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe. MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. And make a donation, a small one even. There is a thanks button under the video.